Being behind used to mean something specific. A bill unpaid, a room not cleaned, a task not finished. Now it has become a background feeling. You can finish the thing in front of you and still feel as if a larger invisible list is waiting. This changes the feeling of rest. Rest no longer feels like recovery. It feels like stealing time from a system that is still running. Even when you stop, part of the mind keeps listening for the next demand. The hidden mechanism is open loops. An open loop is anything your brain believes still needs attention. The more open loops you carry, the more your body behaves as if something is unfinished, even when nothing urgent is happening. This is why you can feel tired before doing anything difficult. The load is not only physical, it is anticipatory. You are not just working, you are preparing to be interrupted. The way out is not perfect productivity. That is another trap. The way out is closing loops deliberately. Write the thing down. Choose what will not be done today. Make endings visible. Protect blocks where no new demand is allowed to enter. There is a reason the feeling follows you home. The modern task list no longer lives in one place. It lives across devices, accounts, apps, passwords, documents, subscriptions, tabs, and tiny red badges. Your brain has to remember not only the task, but where the task is hiding. The body interprets this as pressure. Not because every task is dangerous, but because unfinished things keep asking to be simulated. The mind rehearses them in the background. It checks, predicts, worries, and returns. A second trap is fake urgency. Digital systems flatten importance. A sale alert, a work message, a family update, and breaking news can arrive in the same visual language. Everything knocks with the same hand. This is why boundaries have to be physical sometimes. Another room, another device. Paper instead of a screen. A closed door, a visible list. The brain calms down when the world stops whispering through every surface. This is why a simple written list can feel oddly calming. It turns fog into objects. The tasks may still exist, but now they are outside your head. The mind stops spending energy trying not to forget them. There is another problem. Modern life mixes real duties with optional pressure. Pay the bill. Reply to the friend. Watch the course. Improve your body. Learn the tool. Track the habit. Build the future. Everything arrives as a demand. That is why rest has to be protected before it feels earned. If you wait until everything is done, rest never arrives. The world is too good at producing more things to do. Another trick is lowering the number of places where life can shout at you. Fewer notifications, fewer apps on the home screen, fewer automatic renewals, fewer tabs, fewer invisible promises. This sounds small, but attention leaks through small holes. A person can lose a whole day not to one crisis, but to 50 tiny returns to unfinished things. That is why clarity beats intensity. Working harder on a vague pile often increases panic. Sorting the pile first makes the work human-sized. There is also grief in this. We were promised that technology would save time. Often it saved time in one place and created management somewhere else. The time did not always return as peace. When you choose what matters today, you also choose what is allowed to wait. That choice is where calm begins. You may never empty the whole world, but you can make a clear room inside the day. And sometimes that is enough to feel like yourself again. This changes how the body understands safety. A person may be sitting on a sofa, but the nervous system knows that work, family, news, money, and strangers can all enter the room instantly. Rest becomes shallow because the boundary is too thin. The reason is simple and brutal. Modern life creates tasks faster than a human nervous system can emotionally close them. Messages arrive while you answer messages. Updates create decisions. Apps create reminders. Every convenience becomes another place to manage. Your brain was built to handle visible work, a field, a meal, a room, a conversation, but much of modern work has no natural ending. Email can always refill, feeds can always refresh, documents can always be improved. There is no finish line, only the next notification. A phone is an open-loop machine. It holds conversations, money, maps, work, family news, entertainment, calendars, photographs, and problems from people you have never met. It compresses the whole world into one object and then vibrates in your pocket. Companies benefit from this. A person who feels slightly behind is easier to pull back into platforms. Check this, clear that, respond now, do not miss out. The system does not need your full panic. It only needs a small, unfinished feeling. You may never be caught up with everything. Nobody is. But you can be caught up with the life you chose for today. That is the smaller, saner target. Not an empty inbox. A mind that knows what is allowed to wait. Even leisure creates administration. Choose a show, manage a subscription, reply to a friend, book the thing, cancel the trial, update the app, save the password. Life becomes a series of small doors that each require a different key. That background simulation is exhausting. You may call it laziness when you cannot start, but often it is overload. The system has too many possible next actions, so the nervous system freezes instead of choosing. When everything knocks, attention stops trusting itself. You begin checking not because you want to, but because missing something feels expensive. The cost may be social, financial, professional, or emotional. You do not need a perfect system. You need fewer active promises. A human life can hold only so many unfinished commitments before it starts mistaking existence for failure. The feeling of being behind is powerful because it has no obvious shape. If a sink is full of dishes, you can see the problem shrink. But when the problem is digital, invisible, and spread across 10 systems, the brain cannot watch completion happen. Self-improvement can become another inbox. A person can be exhausted not because they are failing, but because they are trying to manage too many versions of who they are supposed to become. The nervous system needs proof that the day can end. In older kinds of work, sunset, closing time, or an empty field created that proof. Now the work can follow you into bed as a small, glowing rectangle. One useful trick is a shutdown ritual. Write what was finished. Choose the first task for tomorrow. Name what will wait. Then close the list. The brain needs a clear signal that the loop is not open anymore. The feeling of being caught up is not the same as having nothing to do. It is the feeling that the right things are in the right places and that nothing hidden is quietly waiting to punish you. Many people need a not today list as much as a to-do list. Not today is not giving up. It is how the mind learns that every possible task is not an emergency. So the goal is not to become a machine that processes life faster. The goal is to design a day that a human nervous system can actually close. One reason the pressure never ends is that modern systems are designed around availability. If you can be reached, you can be asked. If you can be asked, you can be given responsibility. The phone turns every quiet moment into a possible doorway for somebody else's priority.